Matt Gaetz has withdrawn his name from consideration for Attorney General. Here is his statement from Florida man, and also allegedly self-trafficking man, although I would say that for some Florida folks, there's a bit of an overlap with in that Venn diagram. But anyway, Matt Gaetz says, I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciated their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. There's zero chance that any of the senators, and even Republicans, hate him. While the momentum was strong, it's clear my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition, blah, blah, blah. So he is going to get a pardon, and that's really all he needs, probably, if this investigation has any teeth. And then this just broke from CNN, an exclusive report here, that apparently the Ethics Committee, and we're going to hear about dribs and drabs from the Ethics Committee, there was a second alleged sexual encounter between Matt Gaetz and a 17-year-old at the party, sources say. I'm reading this for the first time, so just scroll down a bit here, Bradley. The woman who says she had
17-year-old.
Right.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Matt Gaetz caught reading a book to a group of school children as this information drops.
Right. So this will be wholesome, I'm sure. The woman who says she had sex when she was a minor with then Representative Matt Gaetz told the House Ethics Committee she had 2 sexual encounters with him at one party in 2017. The woman, who was 17 years old at the time, testified that the second sexual encounter, which has not previously been reported, included another adult woman. She also testified to both sexual encounters in a civil deposition as a part of a related lawsuit, sources said. So, this is interesting. What's the headline here? If we could just scroll up. Okay. Basically, it was the same 17-year-old, but 2 sexual encounters. But I'm assuming that this goes a little bit deeper than that. We can speculate, but he's been the subject of a sex trafficking investigation.
Yeah, there are multiple Venmo. I mean, there's a headline where it's like he paid through Venmo somebody who later paid 2 other women the same amount of money. It's
I think it was Nestor that he paid, actually. I think
Nestor,
it was
his son, his beloved.
Yeah.
Is that weird relationship he has with the adult boy that he adopted.
I had forgotten about Nestor for a while. I forgot. I legitimately forgot about him until this new revelation.
It seems like Matt Gaetz probably forgot about him too, in the sense of he was just there. He was just a kid to be the bag man for payments to underage girls. He was
here's $600 for being awesome on Sunday morning.
And it seemed as if, per Paula Reed of CNN, that 45 minutes after they asked for comment about this, that Gaetz tweeted his withdrawal.
Yeah,
wow.
But I guess my question, I don't know. So I can read between the lines. I guess the real thing I want to know is, did the senators he met with have to tell him that he should pull out for this reason? Or did Gaetz kind of understand that going through with the nomination process would only invite increased scrutiny onto these particular allegations and, make it more likely they were acted upon or, maybe punished? It's right. I guess it doesn't matter, but I think I was pretty sure he was going to have to drop out, at least because of stuff like this.
Yeah. And it's not like Donald Trump put any thought into these nominations. It appears like he might have just been sitting around at Mar-a-Lago with Elon and going through the Rolodex of people that are despicable enough to support him wholeheartedly. But also the theme of these nominees for high level positions like Attorney General and Secretary of Defense is that they've been accused of rape or sexual assault, including Pete Hegseth, which we'll get to in a second, which begs the question, why is Donald Trump nominating all these people who have allegations of sexual misconduct? Is it just because he has something over them so he can leverage complete loyalty? Or is it also a direct message to the extremely misogynistic campaign that he ran to these manosphere types as well, which is just we own you.
I honestly think it's just everybody he knows. Like when all you know is people who do sex crimes, then you're going to nominate people who do sex crimes. I mean,
it can be both. It can be both.
There's an
if you go to
advanced
a Moms
culture.
for Liberty event, if you go to a Moms for Liberty event and you talk to like the concerned uncles there, you're going to find a lot of like sex criminals as well. Although I have a additional question to yours, Emma, which is that like if he has nominated all of these other sex criminals and it's likely that they're going to go through with those nominations, how bad and how much proof against Matt Gaetz actually is there,
right,
and how likely is it going to come out, because it's already trickling out now. And so like he has to be extraordinarily compromised for him to actually have to drop out, because it seems like there is just a base level of sexual criminality that is going on in the White House now. So it really does like make me wonder, like, is this going to be a whole like thing?
I am curious.
I would like to point out Liam Neeson, the Liam Neeson.
Not
Liam Neeson's going to hunt him down because it was his teenager.
I mean, he does go after these sex traffickers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the particular set of skills the Liam Neeson has here is to post what looks like Exhibit 6 from this ethics report, which includes some things blacked out, but includes amounts, about 500, 515, 720, platforms, PayPals, a lot of PayPals, and then we switched to Venmo, and then some notes from the PayPals. I'll just read some of those notes. Being my friend, being awesome, here, reimbursement. I don't know what that little smiley is there, but a little gift, just because. $400 for blocked out flight plus extra for you, and then 100 for travel and 150 for travel.
I do like the House Ethics Committee's like textual reimagining of emojis that he's sending over Venmo. It's pretty funny.
Guys, I gotta say, none of you have ever sent me $250 for being your friend, so I'm starting to question our friendship. All right, where's my money?
I guess we're not as sincere as Matt Gaetz in how much he loved this young girl and cared for her and wanted her to have everything that he could provide.
I'm a mentor,
including trauma.
There's like so much I would love to know about being a 21-year-old girl.
Including like, what are those Venmo details?
Yeah, you and I want to know, like, why was it the second one? That because I like the details of the additional adult woman. I wonder if that's what's made him drop out. I wonder if that woman is going to come out and say something, or he's concerned about that, or is that woman someone he knows and is still very close with and wants to, so he's doing this to drop everything to protect her? Because that's the only difference between the first one and the second one. And he had no problem running for AG when the first one was out there.
Interesting.
Well, I think that's a great question, Matt. I think that it really depends on whether or not the information ever gets released to the public in a way that's substantial and like how damaging it is, because it could be possible that he thought he'd be able to outrun the allegations being made public, that if he was AG and, you know, he was nominated and pushed through, he'd have an easier time not being like censured or arrested or whatever the punishment is going to be for it than he would if he were like just a congressperson. And so he might have just been trying to like actually outrun it and like shield himself in the cloak of the like the office. But I think the problem with that is that Republicans don't like him either. Like a lot of Republicans, a lot of like evangelicals seemingly were very disturbed by his nomination. And so it was probably likely that it was going to come out. And so I don't know if even the second person has a real impact on it, or just like the knowledge that like, no, this is going to come out. Like this is, or rather the second incident, like that this is just going to come out. So, you know, we can't have you bringing down the entire Trump administration with your extreme sex criminality, just like, you know, maybe a normal sex criminal.
And you mentioned the evangelical stuff. Like it doesn't stick to guys who aren't Trump, because Trump has taken on an almost like religious cult-like posture with evangelicals, where he's imperfect but delivering for the Lord. But the people that exhibit his qualities beneath him, they just don't have that juice, right? Because it's a semi-cult-like kind of situation with Trump in the base, and so it's easier to throw Gaetz overboard.
I also think there might just be a bit of a civil war going on within the Republican Party to get next to Trump, because everyone knows that once you're next to Trump, you have his ear. Like once you're like the last person to flatter Trump, you have a good chance of getting, what your will is done. And so I think evangelicals are competing with like MAGA chuds to get as close to Trump as possible. It's just true, right? Because there are just a lot of factions within the Republican Party who have slightly different flavors of evil that they want to inflict onto the world. And, Gaetz was just like a MAGA, real far right Trumper guy, and evangelicals probably want, especially at the Attorney General, as we move into a world where like a lot of things that were previously legal will likely be criminalized, like abortion, like maybe gay marriage, that it'll be better if there's an evangelical Attorney General in place and someone who is going to be much more zealous in his pursuit of these things.
Trump may just promote the guy who's the person he was assigning as Deputy Attorney General, who is his personal attorney, who got he got him out of, he feels like, a lot of his legal quandaries. So
Elena Baba?
No, not her. It's a man, and I'm totally blanking on his name. If Bradley,
Todd Blanche.
Blanche. Yeah. That's my prediction for the next pick.
We should just get past all this. Let's just make it Ghislaine Maxwell. Let's just get
Pardon Ghislaine, and then make her hybrid Attorney General, and I don't know, like you can throw another cabinet position in there. What's a womanly one? He loves giving Department of Education to a woman, including
Small Business Administration. Linda McMahon's former perch.
Department of Transportation. Ghislaine Maxwell could lead that. She knows a lot about different flights.
Well, Sean Duffy's already there, the former Fox host and Real World star. So.
Yeah. Do we have Matt Gaetz back in the day?
So this is a very weird. I don't know if people remember the context for Matt Gaetz and his son Nestor appearing on Tucker Carlson's program, but Matt Gaetz got into a big argument with a Louisiana lawmaker who's. Maybe we played the start of this, Bradley. Start at the very beginning. And I don't know how much of this we actually want to go to, but yeah, just go to the very beginning, because this was Nestor, who is the intermediary for Venmo payments to young women, father and son relationships. They're different in 2024.
The Cultural Revolution, now in progress, is making a dangerous term. It's actually been here for quite some time. You're watching elected leaders say you are not allowed to participate in our system if you're the wrong color. During a recent argument on the House floor, Democratic Congressman Cedric Richmond of Louisiana argued that some people just shouldn't be in the debate because they're the wrong skin color or their children are. Richmond's claims started off with a fight with Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz.
Oh my God.
You all are white males. You never lived in my shoes, and you do not know what it's like to be an African-American male.
Are you suggesting that you're certain that none of us have non-white children? Because you reflected on your black son and you said none of us could understand.
Man, stop. I'm not about to get sidetracked about the color of our children. We're talking about black kids. I reclaim my time. It is not about the color of your kids. It is about black males, black people in the streets that are getting killed. And if one of them happens to be your kid, I'm concerned about him too. And clearly I'm more concerned about him than you are. So let's be clear about that.
You're claiming you're more concerned for my family than I do? Who in the hell do you...
Gentlemen,
oh my God. Yeah. All right. Like when he realized, I can make this into a thing. I thought Cedric Richmond was going to go harder and basically be like, that's not your son, you dummy.
But just understand what happened here is he was making a point about black people, and Gaetz says, you don't think I can understand? Well, I have a, not black son, but Cuban kid
son
that I adopted 6 years ago.
And he apparently came out with his revelation to the press that he had his son like 2 days before his alleged co-conspirator was indicted. So a suspicious timing to
Greenberg?
Greenberg, to get performative about your son on the House floor. But here's the rest of that segment where Matt Gaetz sprinted to Fox News to make this argument.
In our family, we treat everyone equally. It doesn't matter what their background is, what their race is. We treat every American with respect.
Yeah.
Does he learn that at school as well, do you think? I mean, do you think the culture in which he's growing up reinforces that obvious and most American of all messages?
Well, why don't you ask him, Tucker? He's I think, piped in from the studio in Florida.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for joining us. What do you make of Cedric Richmond's attack today? Did you see all this?
I did not see it because I was sleeping from a workout from the night before. But yes, once I woke up, I woke up to seeing all these tweets, and I was like, "What's going on?" And Mike gave me a call telling me about it. Like and then I saw it, and I think it's kind of unfair to to tell someone that they don't understand because they don't have because
Look
of
at
their
Gaetz.
racial color.
He's just like clenching his jaw. Get through this.
He's fighting for equality, but if you tell someone to not get involved that he doesn't understand because of his color, you're kind of being a hypocrite there.
Yes, I think that's very nicely put.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Beautiful segment.
He raised you well.
Oh, great.
Oh my
How
God.
old is Nestor supposed to be? Like, I'm just not clear on that. I think the details in my head are fuzzy. Like, he adopted him at 15 and now he's like 21 or something. It's very bizarre.
There's no corroborating information for any of this, though, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I mean, allegedly he had adopted him for like 6 years at that point, but I mean, who knows?
Disappeared one day.
I'm sorry. There's no chance. There's no
some
way.
very strange things going on in the Gaetz household. And yeah, what did Galban? He came up again that he was forwarded money to 2 young women on behalf of Matt Gaetz. So interesting. Nestor Galban's now 23, serving as an Air Force first class airman in Germany.
So I'm glad he got out.
Yeah, same. Right. I felt badly almost for him having to get trotted out there. And he didn't really address the son stuff. He just was like vaguely saying he disagreed with that Cedric Richmond guy. So
I don't think Republican lawmakers should be able to adopt, particularly if they're single. But whatever. I think it's weird. And I mean, this is not to cast aspersions on actual people who raise kids that aren't politicians. But there's something weird going on with people who are in Republican politics adopting kids from different parts of the world, and I think and then you have him as years later forwarding money to people you're fucking as a congressperson. There's some weird stuff going on here, and it'd be nice. Maybe Tucker wants to circle back and be an intrepid journalist and see like, hey, did I just pass some really creepy stuff off my airlines?
yeah, for all the talk about groomers, it's just always projectioning. When you say there's weird stuff going on in the Gaetz household, I return to what Binder said earlier. Who was that adult woman in that encounter is my other question. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out. Yeah.
It's nice.
Hopefully we find out, honestly.
It's just nice for Matt Gaetz to teach Nestor Galban such good American values, like how to give payments for sex to people, and hopefully quiet, but I mean, I guess not too quiet.
Greg from Arkansas says Gaetzgate is proof that public pressure works. I wouldn't go that far, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if it's public pressure. It was more internal pressure from Republicans being like, I'm not doing this, and we won't go public, but we're going to sink this if this goes
more
through.
like there's a limited to sort of like authoritarian hubris.
Yeah.
But,
And also that Trump wasn't that committed to this. He just was, I think, flying off the cuff, chilling with Elon, just pulling names out of his ass. Like, there's no real infrastructure in place to do vetting. Normally these cabinet appointments, there's whole teams that make these determinations, and it doesn't seem like that was the case in this situation.
Well, I don't think they care to do that this time around. It's probably easier just to skip the whole process.
From all I've heard, that he's just sitting in Mar-a-Lago watching like reels, like he's watching their newsreels, seeing how vigorously they defend him, and if he likes their, the cut of their jib, I guess, or if they
or their jaw.
Yeah, if they're like blonde men or women, then they have a place in the Trump White House. So I think it's, he's always been a fly by the seat of his pants guy.
Absolutely.
Just to put the Washington Post line on it, they're paid through Venmo and other conduits, including the PayPal of Nestor Galban, whom Gaetz referred to as, quote, his adopted son. I like the shade of who he referred to as, because isn't there like documents you could show?
There should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully someone looks into this now.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.